And the two sets of players are out here at Bramall Lane with the choir on the cop in fine voice. But this is a game that Sheffield United will sense they really have to win, particularly with third place Burnley and fourth place Sunderland already ahead. Middlesbrough in their change kit of sky blue stripes on a white shirt. Sheffield United red and white stripes and black shorts. And they'll defend the cop in the first half and kick from right to left. Referee tonight, Matt Donoghue, fresh from duty on the Birmingham-Newcastle Cup tie at the weekend. And he gets us underway. Long ball immediately launched forward out to the Middlesbrough left-hand side by the goalkeeper, Mark Travers, who's on loan from Bournemouth. Now Middlesbrough win the first throw of the game over on the far touchline. Delighted to say alongside me, former England striker Dean Ashton.
Good evening, everyone. Wilder said before the game, and he's right, Middlesbrough like to keep the ball, like to keep possession. When I've seen them this season, going forwards, the movement, the interchanging of positions, and the quality has been excellent. I just wonder about that midfield. Is it physically capable for a full championship season? And Sheffield United, with Vinny Souza in particular, will be looking to overpower it.
Vandenberg lays the ball back for Travers, who will clear, but Sheffield United on the front foot immediately. Play forward here by the left back, Harrison Burrows. O'Hare tried to flick it on. And the ball then cleared by George Edmondson. Middlesbrough with an opportunity to bring the ball down. And Iheanacho just spinning into space over on the left-hand side. It's excellent play by Delano Bergzorg. Now out towards Iheanacho on his debut. Left-footed effort from him. He's taken a couple of deflections and the Blades are able to hammer it away through Ahmedhodzic before it goes out of play for a corner.
Yeah.
So Middlesbrough throw.
Terrific play from Bergzorg. Positive play. Could have been easy for him just to lay it back to the fullback. He didn't. He turned. He drove through midfield. He looked to get the ball wide. Eventually found himself to Iheanacho, and as a striker should do, if it opens up, you've got to take the strike. Unfortunate that it was blocked.
City Pack able to knock the ball away from that throw for Sheffield United, a youngster who's had a fine breakthrough season and has featured in 30 games in this campaign now for Sheffield United, having only ever played one senior match before the season had started. And he's back into the team in place of Hamza Chowdhury today in the engine room for the Blades. Long ball sent down towards the Middlesbrough right-hand side, just bounces over the head of Sam Illing Jr. And out for a throw that'll be taken on the Sheffield United left. Only played 3 games at home to top 7 opposition so far this season, the Blades. They beat Sunderland, drew one of the others and lost the other, beaten here by Burnley. So a mixed bag, really. They've got some big games coming up, including Leeds at home here, live on Talksport 2 a week on Monday. Dean and I will be talking you through that one as well. Here and now it's Vandenberg for Middlesbrough, playing it to Edmondson and out to Ryan Giles, back for a second loan spell at Middlesbrough. Little header down from Harmer, who will just drift in from that left-hand side into central areas to try and influence play, as will this man for Middlesbrough, Bergzorg, just given a shove there by Peck. Thought he'd won the ball cleanly, but there were hands in the back of Delano Bergzorg right in front of referee Donoghue. The Sheffield United fans away to our right on the cop might not have seen that, and they are murmuring their discontent. It's a free kick to Middlesbrough, which they've already taken.
Yeah, I mean, just clever play from Bergzorg, just slowed himself down. And Peck couldn't help but give him a little shove. We talk about Harmer, intelligent player, picks up some very, very clever positions, but actually his work rate as well is outstanding and needs to be when he plays wide.
Tom Cannon playing through the middle for Sheffield United, wins the throw. There's an opportunity to launch a long one inside the penalty area. Jack Robinson retrieves the ball, drives it on the inside of his red and white striped shirt. And the Sheffield United players and the Middlesbrough defenders know exactly what's coming here. It's a huge throw in towards the penalty spot, which is headed on, but easily picked up by Travers, who took a dainty step to his right-hand side, brought the ball down, and then runs to the edge of the penalty area to get it forward as quickly as he can for Bergzorg to chase. And that one will go all the way through to his opposite number, Michael Cooper. It's 0-0.
Yeah, just drifted away that long throw from Robinson, probably away from his intended target. It missed everybody and hit O'Hare on the head, and I don't even think he realised, but there wasn't anyone anticipating towards the goalkeeper. Well, they'll use that every opportunity. Jack Robinson's long throw. He won't apologise for that, and it can be a threat, really can, but you just got to get things right. You've got to get the movement and anticipation right of the players that are waiting for the knockdown.
Here's Peck. Forward through the midfield, down the inside right channel to O'Hare, and the former Coventry man very quickly plays the way that he's facing. So Sheffield United have to retrace their steps, and they work it back for Michael Cooper. He's had a really good record here at Bramall Lane since signing from Plymouth back in August. He's played 14 matches at Bramall Lane, he's only conceded 7. We're hoping that run will continue tonight. Peck plays the ball out towards the right-hand side for Harry Clark. Infield from him to Harmer. Harmer to O'Hare, who's just been able to nudge it through. Shot comes in on the turn, which is well beaten away by Travers. It's a good effort from Raksaki. And then Middlesbrough are able to clear their lines and put it out of play for a throw over on the far touchline. The best moment of the game so far.
Yeah, Harmer picking up a great position centrally, flicking it towards his mate O'Hare, whose intended pass was a bit fortunate to get to Raksaki. It's a brilliant chance, actually. He doesn't look at the goal. He just literally swivels and strikes towards the far post. Travers gets down well. But really, with how that opened up, if he'd just got his head up, there was more space there.
Harmer getting it forward. And left-footed shot comes in from Burrows from the edge of the penalty area. That was blocked immediately by Vandenberg. And the loose ball cannons back into Sheffield United territory. Robinson now towards the right-hand touchline. Sheffield United making a bright start here. Middlesbrough just hanging in there in these early exchanges, but already showing the threat that Bergzorg particularly possesses. The ball is nudged away from Finazaz, turned around the corner very cleverly by Harmer. Left-hand side of the penalty area, a cross comes in, and it's blocked by the retreating Illing Jr. and goes out of play for the first corner of the night, which will be taken on the Sheffield United left. 6.5 gone here on Talksport 2. It's 0-0.
Yeah, good movement, wasn't it? From the minute Gustavo Harmer made that little dart inwards, Burrows was on the overlap and then able to be played in by Harmer. It's good defending to block the cross, but a really bright start from Sheffield United.
He would line up here with 5 inside the 6-yard boxes, in towards the near post. Goalkeeper only just got it away in time. Very nearly curved in. It wasn't one of those curving corners that goes into the far post. It nearly crept in at the near. It was a superb delivery from Harmer, who has it again now in a deeper position. He's just let the ball run past him and then works it down the left-hand touchline for Vinny Sosa. Back from him, under pressure from Illing Jr. to playing Sidney Peck in the midfield. And Peck to Sosa again, whose crossfield ball just hit Iheanacho. But Harmer's going to be able to pick it up. He'll work it through the midfield. Sosa just ran into trouble. Referee says no foul by Hackney. But Sheffield United maintain possession and can get the ball forward on the right-hand side. The first Champions League goal from the 8 o'clock kickoffs in Rotterdam. Feyenoord 1, Milan 0. Igor Paschal with the 3rd minute goal there. 8 minutes into this one, and it's still 0-0 with the blades on the front foot. Raksaki wriggling, trying to get away from inside the penalty area. Clark stands it up towards the far post, but the Sheffield United players have made runs towards the near. Edmondson wasn't taking any chances, heads the ball away, and it goes out for another United corner. 0-0, but the Blades have started the brighter.
They haven't. The intricacies that O'Hare, Harmer, Raksaki have got between them, it makes it difficult to commit yourself as a defender. Middlesbrough doing well there not to commit, keep the shape, and then look to deal with the cross.
Harmer raises his left arm above his head, swings the corner in. Not as good as the last one. It was a comfortable claim by Travers, who started 5 Premier League games this season for Bournemouth, but was deemed to be surplus to requirements there behind Kepa Arrizabalaga, and as a consequence, made his move up here. Made his debut for Middlesbrough against Sunderland 10 days ago, the Irishman. He's got the ball at his feet now inside the penalty area. 2nd goal for Burnley at home to Hull. Zian Fleming has scored that. His 9th goal of the season. He's now the joint leading scorer. And when you've only let in 9 goals in 31 league games, you fancy your chances of being able to protect a 2-0 lead against the side in the bottom 6. I think they might be all right.
They can protect half a goal. Unbelievable.
It's an astonishing record that Burnley have got. 9 clean sheets in a row in the league. It was Kwadwo Bar of Watford who was the last man to score against them, and it was on December the 21st. Last side to do 10 clean sheets in a row in the league, Torquay United.
Of course you know that.
I don't think we've had 10 clean sheets in a row
since.
I don't think we've had 10 clean sheets since. 998 minutes Torquay did. Burnley up at about 840 at the moment. 14 hours without conceding a goal. This one 0-0 with Sheffield United having the better chances in the early stages. Middlesbrough goalkeeper Mark Travers. It's a high ball forward towards halfway. Illing Jr. going up for it. He's had an interesting 12 months, taking a circuitous route around Europe. It's a wonderful piece of play by Harmer. Peck, left-hand side of the penalty area, driven in from the left-back position by Burrows. Had a play for another Sheffield United corner, and even 10 minutes in, I think the tone of the game is set here. Luke Ayling forced to block yet another cross.
Oh, he's in the mood, isn't he? Gustavo Harmer, he really is. Lovely bit of footwork, nice Cruyff turn, outside of the foot, flick round the corner into Burrows. At the moment, they're just having to weather this, Middlesbrough. They've not remotely got into any sort of pattern themselves.
Raksaki's taken this corner. He's worked it short to Harmer. Harmer prevented from getting the cross in after some diligent work by Delano Bergsorg. And Sheffield United are forced to go all the way back eventually to their goalkeeper, and more murmurs of frustration really. Sheffield United have worked it from their corner all the way back to their keeper at the space of 10 or 15 seconds without the ball getting inside the Middlesbrough penalty area. But it might now. Harmer again making his way forward. Good footing to stop and came from Hackney. But O'Hare wins it back. Vinny Sosa down towards Harmer, just shoves it into the feet of O'Hare inside the penalty area. This is neat and intricate from close range between Harmer, O'Hare and Sosa. Burrows joins the scene. Good ball in from him. Just not quite enough on it to get to Tom Cannon. Couple of defensive headers away. The second one from Edmondson. And the ball comes to the right-hand side of the penalty area where it hits Illing Jr. and then goes out of play for another corner.
Yeah, sloppy. Sloppy there from Illing Jr. But they're reluctant to put the ball in the box, Sheffield United. I don't really blame them. Cannon's not the biggest or the biggest threat from crosses.
Another corner worked short, and Raksaki went down. The referee says no foul, and all of a sudden Middlesbrough can counter-attack and will try and do so quickly. 6 bladesmen back behind the ball. Middlesbrough in possession on halfway, forced to go back to Luke Ayling. Kept his place at right back today. There had been a bit of speculation that he might lose it. Good battle between Ayling and Harmer, and one that could be one of the keys to the game. Luke Ayling's got it again. It's a good ball in from the Middlesbrough right back, which is headed away. Peck's second header, not the best. He was off balance. Then it's turned back in. Iheanacho was lurking, but very calmly dealt with by Ahmedhodzic. Just nods it back with a minimum of fuss to Cooper. Still 0-0.
Yeah, it was excellent, though. Anticipation from Hackney. Just to sense where that ball was going to bounce and then ran onto it. Tried the little header into his striker. Really, really clever defending from Ahmedhodzic.
Over on Talksport, still Everton 1, Liverpool 1 in the Championship. Bristol City 1, Stoke 0, Burnley 2, Hull 0, Plymouth 2, Millwall 0, Sunderland 1, Luton 0. Wednesday a 0-0 away at Swansea, and West Brom against Blackburn is 0-0. The news on the managerial front as far as Blackburn are concerned: John Eustace not taking charge tonight. David Lowe in temporary charge ahead of Eustace's move to Derby County. This one 0-0 between Sheffield United and Middlesbrough. And in the Champions League, Celtic still 0-0 in their match with Bayern Munich. Feyenoord leading Milan 1-0. Monaco against Benfica's goalless, and Bruges beat Atalanta with a stoppage time penalty 2-1 in that game in Belgium tonight. Vinny Sosa's got possession for Sheffield United. A lot of the play now being concentrated away to our left. Oh, Harmer's just wriggled his way through again. Right-footed effort, and it's just wide. Would have been a peach of a goal because he picked the ball up and he just flicked it with his right foot, drew in the challenge, nudged it away from Aidan Morris, then took it on towards the edge of the penalty area, opened up the body and curved it right-footed Travers diving away to his left-hand side, knew he wasn't going to get there, just had to hope it was going to whistle wide, and it did so by about 6 inches.
Oh, so close. He actually gets a tiny bit lucky with the nutmeg on Ayling. It actually came off his other foot and inadvertently went through the legs of the Middlesbrough defender. But then he just had one thing on his mind, was to open up his body and look to really whip it into that far corner. He was very, very close. He could have actually reversed it in towards Cannon, who kind of gave him a look back once it hadn't hit the net, just to say, I was there for you.
There's a shove inside the penalty area that the referee has taken exception to. Vandenberg was the Middlesbrough defender involved. Cannon trying to put him under pressure, but deemed just to have pushed him into the ground. Not an awful lot in that. Maybe actually just a little tangle of feet is what referee Matt Donoghue saw, if that.
Yeah, always difficult from a forward's perspective when the defender's ahead of you. If he suddenly goes down, usually the referee's going to give the foul.
Sheffield United picking it up in the midfield, and again, Harmer is really in the mood tonight, as Dean Ashton was saying, able to ride a couple of challenges. He just brushed off Iheanacho there. Plays the ball out towards the far touchline, the Sheffield United right. Now it's played back, and Ahmedhodzic with the shock of black hair will make his way forward. Couldn't get the ball to stick. Sosa loses out as Bergzorg brings it forward. He lost possession and looked pleadingly at the referee, but nothing was given. And Sheffield United can mop up at the back with Ahmedhodzic playing it back for Robinson, who in turn finds his keeper, Cooper. He gets it away. O'Hare flicking it on. It'll be chased after by Cannon, and that forces Travers to come out and sweep up outside his penalty area. All he can do is hook it away, straight out of play, for a throw which will be taken over on the Sheffield United right.
Yeah, still nothing from Middlesbrough. It's only Bergzorg really that's shown any life in that attack at the moment. They need options, they need players to try and get hold of the ball and combine and get them up the pitch at the moment.
They have just lost their way, Middlesbrough. 4 defeats in the last 5 games in all competitions, one of those being an FA Cup exit at the hands of Blackburn Rovers, but they've lost at Portsmouth and Preston and went down 3-2 at home to Sunderland last time out. Their away form actually better than their home form in terms of their standing within the table, even if they've actually picked up fewer points on the road. They've got the 7th best away form and they're only mid-table at home. They'll play the ball forward now towards Iheanacho. There's been plenty of speculation that he wouldn't get thrown straight in tonight. It would be Conway. Ball played forward towards Harmer here. And Ayling's done well again. Covered an awful lot of ground to match the run of Harmer and knock it away. But
he showed all his experience there, because he read how it was going to pan out, that attack. He could see that once it got flicked round the corner, that then the option was for O'Hare to find Harmer with the run. Spotted that early and got himself ahead. Smart defending.
Peck. He's under immediate pressure. 3 came and closed him down. And although he lost the ball, it was very quickly picked up behind him by Ahmedhodzic. And Robinson will play it back to the Bosnian international to his right-hand side, on the right of the 2 centre-halves for Sheffield United. Plays it between the lines. Raksaki can pick it up, and he will turn. The man on loan from Palace brings it inside the area. Good ball for O'Hare, who nudges it past the keeper. Pulled back towards the edge of the 6-yard box, but Middlesbrough have enough bodies back to be able to clear. Good play by Callum O'Hare. Just couldn't find the potent final pass that he needed. Middlesbrough clear, but not too far. Burrows plays it forward. Raksaki towards the edge of the penalty area, trying to get in. Vandenberg knocks it away from him. Middlesbrough living for chances on the counter-attack at the moment, but might have one here. It's an opportunity for Bergzorg to run at Clark. Sends a high ball inside the box, and Finazaz was waiting for it. His former Plymouth teammate Michael Cooper came and took it off his head. And it was a comfortable claim.
It was such a sneaky run, wasn't it, from O'Hare down the side of the 2 centre-backs. They're away again.
With Raksaki. Harmer now to his right-hand side. Harmer just nudging it back to O'Hare, who have such a great understanding that was instigated in their time together at Coventry. Harmer trying to wriggle his way through and get towards the dead ball line. Knocked away from him. But Clark will be able to pick it up. Here comes Vinny Sosa. Now Raksaki dropping off from the edge of the penalty area to his left-hand side for Cannon, who's still waiting for his first goal for the Blades. Ball back out towards Harmer. First time cross inside the area. Raksaki met it with a header, but it's gone some way wide.
Yeah, decent ball in, wasn't it? From Clark on that right-hand side. Really whipped it in with pace. Raksaki didn't look convinced. More hit his head than really went for it to guide it towards goal, and it just harmlessly goes wide. But it was brilliant run from Raksaki earlier, clever sneaky run from O'Hare from that deeper position, and then he cuts it back, and he's right. Where is Tom Cannon? Get that nose up in the air, smell a chance, smell a tap in. It was there if you get yourself in front of your defender, because you could see O'Hare was going to get there first. A real chance, really.
It's had an up and down season, Cannon. I mean, he has scored 11 goals, which is a very creditable return in the Championship this season, where I think the leading scorer, were you saying earlier, has only scored 15, so he's not that far off the pace. But just one in his last 9 league games, which was a stoppage time winner for Stoke against Sunderland. He had that glut of goals in a match against Portsmouth where he scored 4, but still waiting for his first goal for Sheffield United. He's still a player with a creditable goal-scoring return over his career, though. Good reverse ball inside the penalty area would have been a decent chance for Iheanacho if he could have brought Azaz's pass into his stride. As it was, it just drifted away from him. And Sheffield United are able to clear with Cooper.
And you just wonder, game time, sharpness from Iheanacho, because Finn Azaz, the reverse pass in towards him was superb. And he's just got to take it into his stride. And it was a heavy touch that took it away from him. Might just take him a bit of time.
Are you surprised that Iheanacho has been given the opportunity tonight ahead of Tommy Conway?
No, because I think if you see him as the long-term fix in that position with Latte Laff leaving the club, then you need to get him playing. You need to get him playing quickly and get an understanding with the likes of Finn Azaz. So I'm not surprised.
Sheffield United on the front foot have won a free kick with Gus Harmer going down.
Just holding his hamstring. Hopefully it's just a slight overstretch. Feels like we're hearing a lot of hamstrings at this time of season off the back of Christmas and January.
Well, it'd be a massive blow for Sheffield United were he to pick up a problem, because he's been in mesmeric form tonight. Best player on the pitch through the opening 20-22 minutes. And he stands over this free kick. He's okay. Harrison Burrows is there as well, the defender that they signed from Peterborough back in the summer, who's got 3 goals in his last 5 games. Harmer leaves it actually for Burrows to flight it in, header back across the edge of the 6-yard box. Vandenberg's done really well to deal with that. He had to make sure that he won it. Raksaki picks up the loose ball down by the corner flag. Little pirouette from him under pressure. Lays it back for Vinny Sosa. Peck will take over. Good ball inside the box. So too from O'Hare. And the goalkeeper spilt the shot from Raksaki. But Akmanogic couldn't get there in time to be able to tap it past him, and Travers recovered to save at the second attempt.
Easy on the eye, though, isn't it? This interplay between O'Hare, Raksaki, Harmer, Cannon. It's lovely. Lovely little flick from O'Hare into Raksaki on the edge of the area. Weak shot, really, in towards Travers. Midriff, and then he spills it slightly, but just gathers. But again, Raksaki, you want to see a better strike in those positions.
It is 0-0 here at Bramall Lane. We're just past the midway stage of the first half here on Talksport 2. And Jim Proudfoot and Dean Ashton talking through the action in South Yorkshire tonight. Just a little bit of mist in the air. It's a chilly evening. Robinson taking the ball down towards the left-hand touchline. Getting it forward. Ayling with a little header, beating Harmer, but it still fell for O'Hare, which is probably the best the Blades could have hoped for in that position anyway. Sosa showing for the ball in the midfield. Plays a little 1-2 with Peck. Now work down towards the near touchline. The Blades left for Harmer. Right-footed ball in from him. Headed away easily by Vandenberg. Peck comes forward and tries to take it on. That one's cleared by Ayling. Iheanacho bustling in there, loses out, and then another Sheffield United player goes down in the midfield and wins a free kick.
Well, they've been really, really sharp, haven't they? the midfield and the Sheffield United defence, Peck and Vinny D'Souza have been terrific in picking up any loose ball that Middlesbrough have played in towards the midfield, and then just been able to keep the momentum, keep feeding their forward players, and it's meant they've completely dominated the first nearly 25 minutes of this game.
So free kick to United, which again Harmer and Burrows stand over. Harmer takes this one, right-footed, curling it down towards the left-hand corner of the 6-yard box. Not the best delivery. Vinny Sosa has won it. Couple of step-overs from him. And O'Hare then wins the corner. There was criticism after the performance from Sheffield United against Portsmouth that although they won by 2-1, and the criticism was justified, they didn't deserve to win it, but the point was made that Sheffield United are winning ugly, and perhaps the speculation saw one excellent newspaper article leading up to this game. Middlesbrough are losing prettily at the moment. You'd rather win ugly, but they've got the balance right so far here, because Sheffield United have been really easy on the eye inside the opening 25 minutes, albeit that they haven't had the breakthrough yet. But this has been an excellent performance from them. Yeah. Much better. Much
more intent, much more professionalism. There's no, I'm just thinking it's going to happen. They've made it happen with their work rate.
Latest corner comes in, it's headed away. Peck picking up possession on the edge of the Middlesbrough penalty area. It was just pulled back. So it's a free kick to the Blades. It is around the edge of the penalty area, but it's really predominantly out towards the right-hand touchline. So it's not a shooting position here. But it is another chance to whip the ball into the penalty area to try and test Travers. 26 minutes gone. All Sheffield United. After a little flurry from Borough in the opening 3 or 4 minutes of the game. Chris Wilder's men have been much the better side against his old club in these early stages. And the man that replaced him at the Borough helm, Michael Carrick, stands looking a little bit pensive on the edge of his technical area. Another free kick. Middlesbrough have defended these set pieces pretty ably so far, and they've had a few to deal with. Harmer to take this one. Right-footed. Again, not a bad ball in. That one headed away. And it comes outside the penalty area for a chance for Borough to get it clear up the right-hand touchline. Vinny Sosa, though, quickly won it back. Hayden Hackney and Morris just can't get a grip of the game in the heart of the midfield at the moment for Middlesbrough. And then Sheffield United win possession back. They have another player go down injured, and it's Azaz that has been a little bit overzealous with the challenge, and a few of the Sheffield United players took exception to that as he put Peck on the deck. He caught him really late.
Yeah, I mean, that was basically just a retaliation to the fact that he felt his side should have had a free kick, and I do agree with him in that sense that there was a foul on Hackney. Before then he goes and shoves his shoulder into the back of Peck. They're just a little bit frustrated at the moment. They're being outfought, outworked, and the quality's been better from Sheffield United.
Well, the boos for the lack of a yellow card that was shown by referee Donoghue. There's another Sheffield United free kick. This one's going to be taken on halfway. Robinson waiting just to drop the ball forward towards the edge of the penalty area. He's fired it out towards the right-hand touchline. Clark's header bounces on the edge of the penalty area. Edmondson gets that one away. And then the referee sees another infringement and has given a free kick Middlesbrough's way on the edge of their own box. And more smiles of bemusement from those in red and white. Middlesbrough very definitely just having to hang in there at the moment and unable to really build any kind of platform. Possession 57-43 in Sheffield United's favour. The shot count 7-1. Just one off-target attempt to show for the opening 28 minutes here at Bramall Lane for Middlesbrough.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about the quality that they've shown in the games I've seen with the forward players. They haven't been able to get them in the game. They've had to defend as a team, and the two centre-backs have been excellent dealing with balls in from wide areas.
Flag up for offside here as O'Hare tried to link up with Burrows. There's a free kick to Middlesbrough. Just 3 shots on target for Sheffield United, and none of them have really tested Mark Travers. That will be a frustration. Blade starting the night 5 points off the top out of this their game in hand. So win here, they're back within 2 points of Leeds. They still have the title race in their own hands because the two sides have to meet here a week on Monday, and it's a game that you will hear live on Talksport 2, an 8 o'clock kickoff Monday, February the 24th. Morris, the American international, winning the ball in the midfield. Finding Hackney. Down towards Illing Jr. on the Middlesbrough right-hand side. The player preferred to Morgan Whittaker in the starting lineup to make his full debut after his move on loan from Aston Villa. He was playing for Juventus last season, signed for Villa, farmed out on loan to Bologna. He's scored in the Champions League this season and now finds himself in the battle for a championship playoff place. It really has been an extraordinary 12 months for him. Here's Bergsorg. Bergsorg to Kelechi Iheanacho around the edge of the area. Left-footed effort from him. And it's gone straight over Cooper's bar. 0-0.
He won't be shy, Iheanacho, in taking an opportunity when it comes his way. He's got a lot of confidence on that left foot. He only shifts it right from the centre of the box. He just shifts it onto that favoured left foot and looks to curl it into the near post top corner. 4 or 5 yards over the top, but there was no thought whatsoever of passing to a teammate.
Well, the last time that he played against Sheffield United, he scored a hat-trick, which was nearly 4 years ago now, playing for Leicester. It's the only hat-trick that he scored in league football. He's got one in the Cup as well. Hoping to break a long goal drought, which in the league goes back to October 2023, the last time he scored a league goal. He's made his way forward here. Illing Jr.'s in possession, though, on the Middlesbrough right. He's just laid the ball back behind Ayling, and Sheffield United might be able to break. And Ayling's out of position now after mounting that attack, and Harmer is goal side of him. Harmer's got 3 ahead. He's put it through for O'Hare, who takes a touch. It's knocked away, but only as far as Raksaki. Sheffield United lead 1-0, and it has been coming for the last 20 minutes. And it all came about after one misplaced pass on the Middlesbrough right wing. It broke down between Illing Jr., who's the man at fault, and Ayling. Harmer nicked in, and as soon as he got the ball goal side of Luke Ayling, Middlesbrough were really struggling. Ball worked forward towards O'Hare, and although he couldn't take the chance, it ricocheted away for Jez Raksaki, and Sheffield United lead 1-0.
Well, you just knew if there was going to be a goal for Sheffield United, Harmer would be involved. And he was heavily involved. Bursts down the left-hand side, cuts into the middle, gets his head up, waits for the run from O'Hare. And O'Hare, I don't know what he is thinking. He has to take this early and pass it past Travers. He doesn't recognise that Giles is behind him, who nips in, actually wins the ball, but then runs in towards Travers. They collide with each other. It then ricochets to Raksaki, who cannot miss from 6 yards. Just side foots it in. It was a mess from O'Hare. It was an even more of a mess from Giles and Travers. Raksaki's there to tap in.
Scored the winning goal against Portsmouth on Saturday. And it's 2-2 now for Jez Raksaki's 6th goal of the season. The man on loan from Crystal Palace, giving Sheffield United a thoroughly merited advantage. It's the 40th goal Middlesbrough have conceded in the league this season. I don't know how many of the 40 have been soft and eminently preventable. The critics will tell you that quite a few have recently. And that one, I'm afraid, is another to add to the list. Sheffield United 1, Middlesbrough 0. Will that just make Middlesbrough come out and be a little bit more proactive? Hackney tries to bring the ball forward. He's lost out O'Hare. Harmer can't get away from Ayling. And Edmondson will just nudge it through the midfield to try and get Middlesbrough going again. Touch from Ayling, just a little bit too heavy. And then there's a strong challenge which came in by Azaz, his second. And the referee has told him that he's not going to be allowed another one. Yellow card for Finn Azaz after the foul on Harrison Burrows.
He's actually really unlucky with this, Finn Azaz, because he trips and falls and doesn't actually make a challenge as such. It's just his momentum, his body runs into Burrows. There's hardly any contact either, but because it's him, because he'd shoved in the back minutes earlier, he was then always going to get a yellow card from that.
So the table as it stands right now, Leeds 69, Sheffield United 67. They've had a 2-point deduction, of course, otherwise they'd be level on points with Leeds, but behind them on goal difference. Burnley, who are 2-0 up on 64. Sunderland, who are 1-0 up on 62. And then a massive gap back to West Brom on 48, Blackburn on 46, and Borough on 44. They're down below Bristol City in 8th as the table stands right now. This would be a third straight defeat for Middlesbrough. They haven't lost 3 in a row since the December of last season, so 14 months ago. And Michael Carrick needs to just try and inject a little bit of inspiration into his team at the moment, because they've had precious little going forward and always prone to the odd defensive error at the back, and one's cost them again.
Yeah, I mean, they've been way off it in this game, and certainly Sheffield United, in particular, Gustavo Harmer and O'Hare and Raksaki have been superb and bright and inventive. It's just Gustavo Harmer's down again, looking at that hamstring, and it's one of those where you just think if you're feeling something, it's probably not worth trying to run through that, and think about protecting him if you can.
So Harmer off the field, having received some treatment, but he's going to be able to come back on in a moment. Incidentally, we're using the iconic rainbow ball again in the EFL at the moment. That's all part of the Kick It Out campaign, and if homophobic or discriminatory abuse is witnessed by you at a match, it can be reported directly to clubs through Kick It Out, through the EFL's reporting tool, or by alerting a steward. It's a message that we all need to be aware of. Play restarts and immediately stops again because a Middlesbrough player has gone down injured on the edge of his own penalty area. That's going to allow us to get some half-time reports in. We'll go firstly to Turf Moor, Burnley against Hull. Here's Mickey Gray.
It's been one-way traffic. Burnley 2, Hull City 0. Goals from Bashir, Humphreys and Zane Fleming have dominated in this first 45 minutes from Burnley. Could have been more. Fleming fired high over the top of the crossbar from very close range. Jayden Anthony's come close on a couple of occasions. Hull City have not really offered anything that first 45 minutes. Need to do more if they're going to get anything from this game. Burnley 2, Hull City 0.
That's 865 minutes now since they last conceded a league goal. To the Stadium of Light, Sunderland Luton. Graham Courtney.
Yeah, Sunderland 1, Luton Town 0. The goal coming after 13 minutes. Brilliant goal as well for the new Sunderland signing, Enzo Lefay. Trey Hume sprayed the ball along the Luton 18-yard line, and there was Lefay. Went for broke, and it flew in. Only one real chance for Luton. Milena Jali with a really good save, though, from Anthony Patterson to frustrate him. One moment everyone enjoyed, apart from the lino, that is. Luke O'Nien, the Sunderland defender, well, he took him out completely, collided with him. O'Nien picked up the flag, gave it a wave, and you know what? I can remember Gaza doing something similar and getting booked for it. Didn't happen today, though. Half-time here at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 1, Luton 0.
No sense of humour failures there. Plays resumed here. Vandenberg has just received a little bit of treatment. He's waiting for permission to come back on, and he's saying because the ball is out, surely I can come back on now. And the officials concur. So a throw that will be taken on the Sheffield United left-hand side. Also half-time in most of the other games in the Championship. Bristol City leading Stoke 1-0 with that early Anis Mehmeti goal. And Plymouth 2 up at home to Millwall with a Joe Bryan own goal and a Ryan Hardy penalty. Sheffield United leading 1-0 here through Raksaki. And on the front foot again with Burrows. Burrows turned back through the midfield for Harmer. He will find Vinny Sosa, and he goes back for Ahmedhodzic. Also half-time at the Liberty Stadium. Swansea 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0. And West Brom against Blackburn. The sides that started the night 5th and 6th still goalless at the Hawthorns in the Premier League. They're back underway at the start of the second half. Everton 1, Liverpool 1. It's live for you right now over on Talksport, or if you've got the app, you can just swipe left and swipe right and keep up with both games. Raksaki with the ball inside the penalty area here. The off-balance O'Hare got his head to it, but was on his way down by the time the ball hit him, and it's looped up over the bar. Got out of play for a goal kick. 1-0 to Sheffield United. 6 to go to half-time here on Talksport 2.
I mean, the amount of times they've all combined. This time it was Harmer with the switch across to Raksaki and the cross into O'Hare. They've got a lovely understanding, the front players. Maybe just Cannon would like to get involved if he could.
Well, if anyone can, Cannon can. as the old advert used to go. The ball headed, I know you're not old enough to remember that. The ball headed by Harry Clark back to his goalkeeper. Thanks for the sympathetic laugh, though. The ball is with Cooper. And the Sheffield United goalkeeper in fluorescent orange. He just rolls the ball towards the edge of his penalty area and kicks long into the South Yorkshire night sky. It's headed back by Edmondson. Vinny Sosa wins the next header, Ayling the subsequent one. Then knocked on by Bergsorg, trying to get Iheanacho in down the left-hand side. All gets a little bit scrappy in the heat of the midfield battle. Peck's lost out. Hackney nudges it past him as Zaz, Bergsorg. And here they come again with Hackney towards the edge of the penalty area. Big chance, good save. Cooper's had next to nothing to do. But he denied Hackney there, who struck one in from 20 yards out and dived to his right-hand side, was able to beat it away, and then shows good communication with Akmanoljic, racing to the edge of his penalty area to throw himself at the feet of Azaz to make the save.
Well, that's what they're capable of. Middlesbrough, Azaz into Bergsorg, Cruyff flicking towards Hackney. Robinson just drops too deep, allows Hackney to get the strike in from the edge of the area. Really well read, though, from Cooper. He read that Hackney, rather than going for the curl to the far corner, was going to drill it low down into the near post. He got down nice and early, read it early, and was able to palm it away. First sign we've seen, really, of Middlesbrough and what they're capable of.
Has scored in each of the last 2 home games. Hayden Hackney, the lad local to Middlesbrough from Redcar. Unable to really sufficiently test Cooper there. It's the first effort on target that Middlesbrough have created. It's 1-0 to Sheffield United here on Talksport 2. Borough back defending again. Bergsorg clipping the ball away. Illing Jr. can chest the ball down and then turn and get it down towards Ayling. Wearing 12, the former Leeds United man on the Middlesbrough right. Plays it back through the midfield for Morris, who's got it inside the centre circle, and then plays in Edmondson. Edmondson taking a touch, gets past O'Hare, out towards the left-hand side. This is better from Middlesbrough, and Akmanoljic is forced to slice the Bergsorg cross away and put it, Giles cross, I beg your pardon, and put it out of play for a corner, the first that Middlesbrough have won tonight. 1-0.
Positive from Edmondson, driving out of that defence, opening up, committing Sheffield United defenders. It opened up then to whip that ball out towards Giles, who then looked to put a dangerous ball in behind the defence. It's amazing, really, that he's not got an assist yet in the league with that left foot of his.
It did so much damage for Luton. In comes the corner, and it's bounced on the penalty spot, being swept away by Harmer, but a penalty's been given. The ball came in. There's a bit of low-grade wrestling going on around the penalty spot. Harmer swept the ball away, but Matt Donahue was absolutely convinced by what he saw. Was it Edmondson that was being pulled back? Jack Robinson, possibly the Sheffield United defender, involved, and a penalty is given.
Well, I could see the referee. He watched the situation all the way through. He didn't look at the ball, the referee. He was looking into the penalty area. And Robinson definitely had hold of Edmondson. They've both been booked for their reactions afterwards, where arms were raised slightly. But we see it so often in the penalty area, grappling. The problem is he's got hold of his shirt. That's the issue. But this is extremely soft. There's so much of this all the time. Every single set play, players grabbing each other. Edmondson grabbing Robinson, Robinson then grabbing him back, and Edmondson having a hold of his shirt as he goes down. But the referee decides he feels like he's seen enough of the pull of the shirt from Robinson to give the penalty.
I mean, it's quite an extensive fistful of shirt that he has got.
But Robinson also has his shirt pulled to start with, and it's, you know, they're both at it. So when do you then decide, well, then that is the one I'm going to choose?
I mean, that's the kind of incident that you see in nearly every game that you go to. And it usually happens before the corner is taken, and as a result the referee blows his whistle and calms everybody down, and then they probably continue doing it, but the referee's got his point across. You so seldom see a penalty given for that. Now a yellow card is given to Cooper, the goalkeeper, for delaying the taking of the penalty. But Middlesbrough, with a chance to get themselves back on level terms, and out of nothing, is being polite. And this will be proper smash and grab. After the grab of the shirt, can he smash the penalty in? Dynamo Bergzorg's the man that is going to take it. All of a sudden, it's got very ill-tempered. But a chance for Middlesbrough to get back on level terms. He stands looking at the ball. He's motionless at the moment. Now a little jittery run and right-footed sends the keeper the wrong way, and it's 1-1. Delight for the travelling Smoggies away to our left-hand side. Middlesbrough back on level terms, completely out of nothing. It's 1-1 after a very controversial penalty.
Extremely controversial. It must have been that when Matt Donoghue, the referee, looked at both of those players, he must have just seen a hand full of a blue and white shirt across his body and is given the penalty. But Bergzorg doesn't care. He was calm, he was composed. A penalty I like to see. Stepping up, a really firm, crisp side foot to the left of the goalkeeper into the corner. They don't deserve it, but they're level.
So we go into first half stoppage time and 4 minutes of it with the teams dead level again. Bergzorg from the penalty spot, scoring for a third consecutive game. One apiece. Sheffield United work the ball forward towards the edge of the penalty area, try to bring Cannon into play. Peck has got it now over on the right-hand touchline. And a late goal in the first half at Parkhead as well. Celtic 0, Bayern Munich 1 in that Champions League game. Here come Middlesbrough again on the counter-attack. Bergzorg slips into Willing Jr., right-hand side of the penalty area. Left-footed effort from him. It hits Burrows, goes out of play for another corner. And we know that the referee is going to be watching everything.
And he's going to get a lot of abuse as well at the same time. They're not happy, of course. They're not the Sheffield United supporters, but the players have got to concentrate. Players have to get back to what they were doing before that penalty. They were almost caught there on the counter-attack with Bergzorg again the threat.
So a second corner. Left-footed in swinging delivery is headed away on the edge of the 6-yard box by Peck. And then further clear out of the box by Harmer. Bergzorg will pick it up. Can't quite gravitate into a position where he can cross the ball inside the penalty area, so it's worked back all the way back to halfway. And in fact, Giles works it further back than that for Travers, who hits just a high ball forward that Ayling comes to meet and heads on. Ayling Jr. didn't read his intention, so wasn't in the right place to receive the flick on, and Robinson can get it away. Loose ball won back though by Azaz, brought down then on the left-hand side by Burrows. Now, was that a high boot and a straight leg? Looked a poor challenge. The referee says play on, and the red mist has just descended on Morris, who, having been on the receiving end of that challenge, then eyes out on Stork with red mist having descended, ran straight into the heart of the midfield battle, and probably was done a favour by the fact that he couldn't get close enough to the man in possession. Vinny Sosa, this is boiling over now. 1-1 the score with 90 seconds of first half stoppage time still to go. Ball played down the Sheffield United left. Ayling is there to mop up, gets it back to his goalkeeper. Sosa going up for it. Wasn't too sure where the ball had gone, and the answer is off his head and out of play for a Middlesbrough throw.
I kind of like it though. I kind of like when it just gives the game a bit of an edge. And it certainly has done that. I thought the fact that Morris, yes, his reaction was that he wanted to go and steam into a challenge, but he didn't really say much to the referee in terms of that challenge. I think he just thought that a little bit was left on him and was frustrated with that.
It was Michael Elise that scored that goal for Bayern Munich, incidentally. Celtic 10 home wins in a row. Have only conceded once in that run, but are a goal down at home to Bayern Munich through Elise's goal. Elsewhere in the Champions League, still final 1 Milan 0, Monaco 0, Benfica 0, and 1-1 in the Merseyside derby. Live view on Talksport right now. This one also one apiece, controversially. Raksaki giving Sheffield United the lead, and Bergzorg from disputed penalty with the equaliser in the last seconds of the 45. Sheffield United bowled it out quickly. Out towards the right-hand side, still just about time to launch one last attack. And the half-time whistle blows. The boos that you can hear aim squarely at one man. Referee Matt Donoghue who leaves the field to a torrent of abuse from the Sheffield United fans on the Kop. The Blades have played well, the better side through 45 minutes. They've got nothing to show for it. The half-time score, Dean, is 1-1.
Which is a surprise, because Sheffield United were outstanding, I thought, for a huge amount of that first half. I thought the intensity that they played with, when the ball got played out, they won it in midfield. They fed the front four, who were terrific. In particular, Gustavo Harmer, his industry and inventiveness was excellent. The link up with O'Hare and Raksaki and Cannon leading the line, they were terrific and really should have been at least 2 ahead. And then the decision from the corner, from Matt Donoghue, the referee, to award Middlesbrough a penalty, clearly hasn't gone down well. There was plenty of shirt pulling, so it's not as if Robinson was completely innocent, but it feels like a gift. It feels like a bit of a freebie for Michael Carrick's Middlesbrough.
If the referee is consistent, and that every time he sees something like that within the course of the game, within the course of the season, is that okay?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, we see a referee, like you said, tell the players, have to remind the players of the rules of the game in terms of shirt pulling and what they're doing. And I don't know why referees do that, because the players should know the rules anyway, but they do. And we never really see decisions like that, and that's the issue. You know, probably people, I'm sure, can look at Matt Donoghue's other games and where there's probably been shirt pulling. It's whether you see it, it's whether you at the time, the referee, feel like it's enough to award a penalty. I personally think there's so much of that going on, and actually both players had hold of each other's shirts. So how can you give a definitive answer in those situations? Very difficult.
Well, Chris Wilder wanted a word with the referee and his assistants as they came off the field. He was waved away. Chris walked back towards the touchline and then stopped and just waited for the officials to catch up. And then again, they told him, we're not having a conversation now. Chris thought better of it and walked down the tunnel. It'll be very interesting to hear his comments after the game. Set it up for a pulsating 45 minutes ahead, because this is a game really that Sheffield United have to win, and Middlesbrough will be happy, bearing in mind the way the game has gone, to be on level terms. We'll bring you the second half here on Talksport 2. In a few moments we'll catch up with events around the rest of the country tonight, but at the moment here at Bramall Lane at half-time, it's Sheffield United 1, Middlesbrough 1.
Talksport Podcast League. Outspoken with White and Jordan.
The best of White and Jordan is now available in one unmissable daily podcast.
So you've got a perfect storm.
From the top flight to the big fight, get opinionated debate that's always on the ball.
Time to hire somebody who can win.
And on the money.
This is a long way from a done deal.
Outrageous, outstanding, outspoken.
It's hard to say that, but it's the truth.
Out now.
Listen or download for free on the Talksport app or from your favourite podcast portal.
Talksport 2, official broadcast partner of the Premier League and the English Football League.
Get unbeatable coverage of all the biggest sports headlines with the back page review on Talksport with Tesco Mobile for Business. Every weekday morning from 6, listen to the Superstar Breakfast for all the breaking news you need to know, the latest views you need to hear, and the big name interviews you can't afford to miss. The back page review on Talksport with Tesco Mobile for Business. From side hustle to startup, get business phone bills for up to 40% less than the big mobile networks. For terms and verification, visit tescomobile.com/business.
Does this sound make you think of gambling? Then it might be time to quit. TalkBandStop can help. Speak to a GamCare advisor, learn about self-excluding from gambling sites with GamStop, and get a free GamBan license to block your devices from gambling sites. Layered together, we have helped over 10,000 people quit gambling, and we can help you too. Call the National Gambling Helpline on 0808 8020 133 or visit talkbandstop.com.
This is the call of the Chiff Chaff. This is the call of the Willow Warbler. Hear the difference? Thankfully, some things are obvious, like choosing Interactive Investor for your ISA and personal pension. With 30 years' experience, over 430,000 customers, and a rating of excellent on Trustpilot, the choice is obvious. Search Interactive Investor. Investment values can go down as well as up. You could get back less than you invest.
That's not simple. That's not simple.
Now that's simple. Hastings Direct Car Insurance is simple, because when life is this complicated, finding a great deal shouldn't be. Great cover, great price, and a great app makes us one of the UK's top choices when comparing car insurance online. Hastings Direct. Simplicity is the best policy. For verification, see hastingsdirect.com/verify.
There you were, binging crime dramas with your flatmates. Then came the big confession. None of you could be bothered to cook. But look at you now. With Deliveroo, you've cracked the case and smashed dinner in as little as 25 minutes. Crispy chicken wings, dirty fries, crunchy slaw and spicy dipping sauces. Deliveroo now just got even better. Geographical restrictions, service and delivery fees apply. Delivery times may vary. See in-app for current delivery estimates.
It's Valentine's Day this Friday, and EuroMillions is guaranteeing 14 brand spanking new UK millionaires. So our fabulous winners can take their special someone here. Ooh, delightful. Or here. Or here. If that's your sort of thing. EuroMillions from the National Lottery. Play on app. Meow. Account terms, rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or older.
Talksport 2, official broadcast partner of the English Football League.
Friday night is game night. The goals are cooling.
It's a brilliant goal!
Stimulate your senses with a heavy-duty payload of thrilling Premier League football.
Flying header on 6 yards.
Exclusive full-match commentary of Brighton versus Chelsea.
Kick-off 8 p.m.
on Talksport. Live football coverage that's beyond compare.
The angle tries, he shoots, it's in again!
No one does football quite like this.
He hits it first time, what a volley, what a goal!
EFL Live on Talksport 2.
Harmer's got 3 ahead. He's put it through for O'Hare, who takes a touch. It's knocked away, but only as far as Raksaki. Sheffield United lead 1-0, and it has been coming for the last 20 minutes. And it all came about after one misplaced pass on the Middlesbrough right wing. Harmer nicked in, and as soon as he got the ball goal side of Luke Ayling, Middlesbrough were really struggling. Ball work forward towards O'Hare, and although he couldn't take the chance, it ricocheted away for Jez Raksaki, and Sheffield United lead 1-0. In comes the corner, and it's bounced on the penalty spot, being swept away by Harmer, but a penalty's been given. At the ball, he's motionless at the moment. Now a little jittery run, and right-footed sends the keeper the wrong way, and it's 1-1. Delight for the travelling Smoggies away to our left-hand side. Middlesbrough back on level terms, completely out of nothing. It's 1-1 after a very controversial penalty. Well, that penalty decision from referee Matt Donoghue is certainly going to dominate proceedings if Sheffield United don't win this game. It will be one that is talked about quite extensively. Very interesting to hear what Chris Wilder made of it. 1-1 the half-time score after Bergzorg put the penalty away for some grappling between Robinson and Edmondson inside the penalty area. So 1-1 here. Let's get half-time details from the Hawthorns match between West Brom and Blackburn. The two sides decided immediately above Middlesbrough at the start of the night. Here's Talksport 2's Jeff Peters.
Yeah, no goals here, 5th against 6th. Baggies 11 unbeaten at home, and not surprisingly bossing possession, but final ball not so good, aside from Isaac Price's peach of a cross from the right, which was met by Torbjorn Hegem, and his header struck the outside of the post. Patience required, I think, to break down Blackburn, who look more organised on the pitch than off it. David Lowe, of course, taking charge tonight. Tyree Stolen with a run and shot, comfortably saved. That's been their best opportunity. And they've lost Danny Bart, the defender, to injury, replaced by Sanderson. Half-time at the Hawthorns, West Brom 0, Blackburn 0.
I'll run through all the Championship latest scores and half-times for you in a moment. First of all, though, let's catch up with what's been happening in the opening 45 minutes at Parkhead. Celtic Bayern Munich. Here's Alex Crook.
It's Celtic 0, Bayern Munich 1. Michael Elise, the former Crystal Palace star, with the only goal right on the stroke of half-time. It was an absolute humdinger as well. Elise picked up the ball just inside the penalty area, and he lashed it left-footed beyond Kasper Schmeichel and into the roof of the Celtic net. Bayern have dominated possession, but they had the ball in their own net with only 30 seconds played. Nicholas Kuhn cutting in from the right-hand side, curling into the bottom corner from 22 yards out. Celtic Park erupted, but those scenes were soon cut short. Adam Eder had made a movement towards the ball. He was clearly standing in an offside position and distracting Manuel Neuer, the Bayern goal. So the goal rightly chalked off. Schmeichel saved well to deny Elise from point-blank range. Harry Kane had one shot blocked superbly by Austin Trusty, and also saw a far post header wide after meeting a corner from the right-hand side. Leroy Sané should have done better when he was put one-on-one with Schmeichel, but missed his kick. So chances at a premium for Celtic. You really feel they need a positive result tonight to take into the second leg in Bavaria, but at the moment it's the 6 times winners Bayern who have their nose in front. Celtic 0, Bayern Munich 1.
Thank you, Crookie. The winners of that will take on either Bayer Leverkusen or Atletico Madrid. Feyenoord lead AC Milan 1-0 at half-time. A very early goal there. The winners of that take on Arsenal or Inter. And it's 0-0 between Monaco and Benfica, with the winners of that potentially taking on Liverpool. Might end up getting Barcelona instead. Everton 1, Liverpool 1 in the Merseyside derby. Beto giving Everton the lead. Alexis McAllister equalising 4 minutes later. And that was inside the opening quarter of an hour there. About midway through the second half now. And it continues for you live over on Talksport. Now in the Championship elsewhere, Sunderland had just gone 2 up at home to Luton. I'll confirm the score of the second goal for you very shortly. Sunderland 2, Luton 0. Plymouth 4, Millwall 0, the score at Home Park. Remember, they came into this having won only once in 16 league games. But it's going to be 3 home wins in a row by the end of the night. Joe Bryan with an own goal, Ryan Hardy with a penalty, and then a couple of quick goals at the beginning of the second half as well. Mustafa Bundu and another goal from Hardy. Plymouth 4, Millwall 0. Hardy up to 7 for the season. That's 5 in his last 3 games, including that winner against Liverpool. Bristol City leading Stoke by a goal to 0. Burnley 2, Hull 0. As I mentioned, it's Sunderland 2, Luton Town 0. Wilson Isidore is the man that scored the second goal. It's his 11th of the season. Luton now bottom of the table because Plymouth are winning. And as we just heard from Jeff, it's 0-0 between West Brom and Blackburn, also goalless. Swansea against Sheffield Wednesday. So that brings you up to date with everything that's going on domestically and abroad. Earlier today, we heard the third one-day international in the series between India and England, which we had live on Talksport 2. And this was how it sounded.
Beautiful whip shot, absolutely classic Kohli. Down the track again, Shipman Gill, sick.
He's drop-kicked this over the poles.
Kohli now steers it behind square on the offside for a single to bring up his 50. Shipman Gill leans forward and just clips this ball to the boundary through mid-wicket. His 7th ODI 100. And India have been bowled out. 356.
Good start from England. 60 for none off 6.
And Duckett's eyes lit up. He thought, here's a chance. Sliced it straight up in the air.
They're absolutely in stitches at what's just happened.
Hold him! Straight through the defences of England's best player, Joe Root.
80 for 2, not sustainable in the 9th over.
Hold him inside edge. Josh Butler's got a drag on. With him go England's hopes of victory at 154 for 5. England are being humbled in Ahmedabad.
Job done by India. Start the cart.
So the third one-day international won by India by 142 runs. Fantastic coverage from the award-winning Talksport cricket team. India 356, England 214, and inauspicious one-day international series. This weekend, a massive boxing match between Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol in a rematch for the undisputed light heavyweight championship of the world. You can hear that on Talksport. Also, Talksport 2, live commentary of a huge match with implications at both ends of the table as Aston Villa take on Ipswich. And that's here on Talksport 2 at 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon. We've got more live football for you on Valentine's night. Where else would you rather be than in the company of Joe Shannon for Brighton against Chelsea? That's over on Talksport, 8 o'clock Friday night. And Queen's Park Rangers against Derby kicks off at 8 o'clock here on Talksport 2 on Friday night. And then Leicester Arsenal's our live exclusive game from the King Power Stadium Saturday lunchtime Here on Talksport 2, Preston Burnley, the Lancashire derby. They're playing each other twice in the space of a fortnight. And you can hear it here, live on Talksport 2. Back here at Bramall Lane, team's back out, and we're back underway for the second half between Sheffield United and Middlesbrough. 1-1. We talked about the fact that it just got a little bit feisty at the end of the first half. A change has been made for Sheffield United. Tyrese Campbell has come on to replace Tom Cannon,
who didn't quite get into the game, did he, in that first half? It was the other three that were the threat. He was on the periphery, and maybe that is what is in the manager's mind, or it could have just been a slight injury problem as well. But you're just thinking, with that penalty that went in towards half-time, who has it affected? Is it going to give Middlesbrough the boost?
Here is Campbell winning a corner. Good first contribution from him on the Sheffield United right. But is it going to give Middlesbrough a boost? Is it just going to fire Sheffield United up, stung by what I'm sure they will see as a feeling of injustice? Now, big pressure on Matt Donoghue now to be consistent, with plenty of pushing and shoving going on inside the penalty area from this latest corner, which is in from Raksaki. Far post, it's headed down and away and wide, and goes out of play for a goal kick that'll be taken by Mark Travers.
And the supporters behind the goal in the Kop, every single one of them pointing towards a Middlesbrough player that had hold of a Sheffield United player. That's going to be the case for the rest of the half. It's what the referee does with that decision. The precedent that he sets is going to be very difficult for him.
Over on Talksport, Everton 1, Liverpool 2. Is it going to be Mo Salah who scores the last ever Merseyside derby goal at Goodison Park? It's his 27th of the season. Liverpool 9 points clear at the top of the Premier League if they win, and they're 2-1 up going into the final quarter of an hour there. It continues for you live over on Talksport. Here on Talksport 2. Raksaki with a goal on 32, Bergzorg with a penalty on 45. It's one apiece. Middlesbrough in their change kit of white shirts with thin light blue stripes, defending the Kop end away to our right-hand side, attacking the end of the ground that houses the travelling Middlesbrough support, and they've come down in their numbers from Teesside tonight. They'll be delighted with the scoreline, not necessarily with some facets of the performance, because there's clear room for improvement as far as Borough are concerned.
Oh, massively, yeah. They've not been able to get the forward players into the game as they'd like. They've had to defend well at times against a very good Sheffield United attack. It's just as I talked about, the physicality in that midfield area. They've been overpowered by De Souza and Peck and Harmer when he's drifted in there. They've really struggled to get any sort of a grip in the centre of the pitch.
You would Talksport 2, it's 1-1. And a chance for Edmondson to bring the ball forward. He was the man that won the penalty, and he's getting boozed as a result of that whenever he touches it, and then fell over as he cleared the ball. Sheffield United win it back with Peck in the midfield. United with Cooper in goal, Clark, Akmadodic, Robinson and Burrows, Peck and Vinny Sosa, Raksaki, O'Hare and Harmer, and now Campbell on in place of Cannon up front. Middlesbrough, Travers in goal, Ayling, Vandenberg, Edmondson and Giles, Morris and Hackney, Illing Jr., Azaz and Bergzorg, and Kelechi Iheanacho playing up front. Really hasn't had too much in the way of service to mark his Middlesbrough debut so far. This actually Borough's last away game of the season against top 10 opposition. Their record away to top 8 sides at the moment, 1, 2 and 3, a win, 2 draws and 3 defeats. They did win at West Brom and they've been beaten at Leeds and Sunderland. The ball is out for a throw which will be taken over on the far touchline. Sheffield United launching it forward. Their left back Burrows has got a good long throw on him. Harmer's flicked that one. It might break Campbell's way. It just ricocheted towards the edge of the penalty area. Borough able to clear. Hackney waiting for the ball near the edge of the penalty area, can bring it down, but he can't find Azaz because there's the lively, industrious Callum O'Hare in to win it back, and thought he was shoved, and the referee said no. It's a Middlesbrough throw, not a Sheffield United free kick.
No, he was looking for that. But once again, they've been excellent in the centre of the pitch. Vinny Souza and Peck and O'Hare, any time the ball has just bounced in that area. They've been first to it, they've been physical. And it just means they can then recycle the ball and not let Middlesbrough have any sort of possession.
Second goal for Bayern Munich in Glasgow. Celtic 0, Bayern Munich 2. Harry Kane's 29th goal of the season. Celtic 0, Bayern Munich 2. And they've got 2 in 4 minutes either side of half-time. And Blackburn lead at West Brom by a goal to 0. Now, managerless Blackburn taking the lead through Maktagay. Also the deadlock broken in South Wales. Swansea 0, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Michael Smith's 8th goal of the campaign. So Wednesday leading at Swansea by a goal to 0. Champions League deadlock broken in Monaco with Benfica's Vangelis Pavlidis, his 15th of the season, giving them the lead. Monaco 0, Benfica 1. Referee has given himself plenty of thinking time before eventually giving a free kick for a push by Illing Jr. on Harrison Burrows. So it's a free kick over on the left-hand touchline that Sheffield United will be able to swing in. No surprise that, again, it's Burrows and Harmer that stand over it. And Harmer, you would imagine, is going to be the favourite. Ball delivered towards the near post. Peck coming to meet it. Illing Jr. got there first. His second touch, a header came off the top of his head and went back behind him inside the penalty area, but Ayling was able to clear. And United very quickly win it back with Peck and then O'Hare, who's done well to turn out of trouble. Good little 1-2 between the pair of them. Nice reverse ball for Campbell inside the penalty area. O'Hare's continued his run. Peck on the edge of the penalty area. Couldn't get it really out from between his feet. And a right-footed shot takes a deflection and just loops through towards Travers. And still, Sidney Peck waits for the first senior goal of his career.
Oh, it just stuck to his studs, wasn't it? Peck at the edge of the area, totally stood still. Didn't really manoeuvre the ball. Needed something sharp, a step over, something just to get the defender out of the way. Couldn't do it.
An opportunity here for Ryan Giles to make his way forward down the Middlesbrough left-hand side. And Vinny Sosa said, you're not getting any further. Just leant into his path and won the ball back. Stuck out a long right leg, got the ball back under control. And he has it now. The players coming in from all sides on him. Azaz was going to make a challenge. He's on a yellow card and he pulled out at the last moment. Borough do win it back, but as they look to try and play in Ian Acho down the right-hand side, Sheffield United did very well to quickly regain possession with Burrows. And then he stopped his run. So O'Hare knocked it where he thought he was going to be rather than where he was. And it's straight out of play for a throw that will be taken over on the far touchline, which is the Middlesbrough right. It's 1-1 here on a cold, brisk February evening in South Yorkshire. Sheffield United working it forward. Campbell can't get a shot in. Edmondson nicks in front of him, forced a side-footed out of play for Sheffield United's 7th corner of the night. Dean Ashton.
But again, that came from industrious work from Harmer. He wins it back. O'Hare plays him in. He then slips it down the side for Campbell, down the left-hand side of the penalty area. Just a fraction strong. Edmondson comes across and deals with it. Well, as like the first half, it's just all Sheffield United.
Akmahodzic is in there waiting for this corner. But Travers has been able to punch away down towards the touchline. Shepherded out very effectively by Peck for a throw that'll be taken on the Blades right.
He's been impressive, hasn't he?
Yeah, I really like him. I saw him play against Wrexham in the League Cup earlier this season, one of his first appearances, and thought he really stood out. He's a good player, isn't he?
He is, and he's physically capable enough as well, I think, to handle.
Burrows from distance, no problem for Travers. A couple of quick steps to his left-hand side, and he got his hands down behind the ball and able to make a comfortable save. Now, Middlesbrough are going to be bringing Dan Barlaser on into the heart of the midfield very shortly. You would imagine it'll be a straight swap for either Morris or Hackney. Edmondson's ball up the left-hand side is easily brought down. O'Hare in towards Campbell. Campbell to his left-hand side for Harmer. Hasn't quite been as influential until that pass. A beautiful little reverse for Raksaki. Left-hand side of the penalty area. Back it goes from Raksaki to Burrows. Burrows will take it down towards the byline, but his cross is blocked. Illing Jr. doing some good defensive work. He's got plenty of experience of playing at full-back, and then he wins it back as he makes his way upfield before being given a shove to the ground by Harmer. And a free kick goes Middlesbrough's way, and that gives them the opportunity to make the change. It's actually Azaz who's coming off for Barlaser. So it's a more defensive-minded midfielder who's going to be coming on as they try and regain a little bit of balance in the engine room.
Yeah, that is just such an issue at the moment in the middle of the pitch. Too often they're winning the second ball and just freeing either Hare or Harmer. Barlaser will just go into that deeper role with a bit more physicality that he brings. And obviously Azaz on a yellow card as well, and in the referee's mind. I wonder how long Iheanacho will last as well. He doesn't look particularly match fit, I would say. He doesn't look that sharp. I always think when you see a player and defenders are constantly stepping in front of a forward, maybe not quite up to the speed yet.
Oh, he's only had 5 starts this season in the league. Kelechi Iheanacho, he's on loan from Sevilla, who he joined on a free transfer last summer. So 5 starts, a couple of starts in the Copa del Rey where he scored 3 goals, but he hasn't scored a league goal as yet for Sevilla. So you can understand that if he looks as though there's just a little bit of rust in the legs that he's trying to get rid of. And they do have Tommy Conway to bring on off the bench. Sheffield United take a throw quickly over on the far touchline, and it's worked in towards O'Hare. It's gone down inside the area. Referee very quickly waves both arms across his body to say no foul, not a penalty. O'Hare is arguing the toss, and then a free kick's been given the other way for a subsequent challenge out by the touchline. But O'Hare has indicated that he felt as though he just got caught there and kicked just above the ankle. We're having a look at a replay now. Dean Ashton, what do you think?
Not at all. Not at all. He's instigated the contact. It's very different. It's a heavy touch. He then instigates the contact himself. He goes down. It's not a penalty. But naturally, the home support will feel like they want it evening out. Well, Hare knows what he's doing there.
Well, listen, if you were playing in these circumstances for Sheffield United in the second half, I'm sure you'd be going down very easily, just in case the referee's had a look at it in the half-time interval and decides not to even it up, because we're told that doesn't happen. But this might be playing on his mind if he now subsequently thinks he made a bad decision in the first half. There's a little bit of pushing and shoving going on between Edmondson and Harmer whilst all of that was going on as well.
I mean, as sad as it sounds, yes, that's exactly what you would have talked about at half-time. You know, putting pressure on the referee.
Well, that's just playing the game, isn't it? Am I old and cynical and naive by saying that? That's part of the game.
It is. We can pretend and say that it doesn't happen, but it does. You know, you're looking for every advantage, and you know when the referee's made a decision like that, there's going to be the pressure from the crowd. He's only human, and you want to then put pressure on him to make decisions.
Now Middlesbrough get a free kick, and that was definitely the right decision. Ball played out to the left-hand side. Laid back by Giles to Edmondson. If you're just joining us and you're wondering what we're talking about in terms of the penalty decision, a penalty given for a pull of the shirt of Borough's George Edmondson as he was up attacking corner. It was Jack Robinson who was the perpetrator of it. Both players had a handful of each other's shirt. The referee clearly deciding that Robinson was the aggressor in that situation. And it's just the kind of incident that you see on a regular basis that isn't punished. That doesn't make this one wrong, but it's that consistency is what is going to be highlighted after the game. Hamza Chowdhury just acting as a ball boy. He's out warming up for Sheffield United. It's a Blades throw on this near touchline, and we're just short of the hour mark here on Talksport 2. Sheffield United 1, Middlesbrough 1. Monaco are down to 10 men in their Champions League clash with Benfica. They're a goal down as well. As Masrati has been sent off, and Anis Mehmeti has scored a second for Bristol City, who are 2 up now at home to Stoke. Mehmeti up to 11 for the season. Iheanacho's offside. He's actually finished it really well, but the flag was up. He is offside, and it's a free kick which will be taken by the Blades 10 yards outside their penalty area. It's all going on. One up. It
is. I just think Middlesbrough haven't been able to get any sort of hold of the game, momentum, exert themselves on Sheffield United. They're feeding off scraps, off counter-attacks, and they're holding on defensively. You know, this would be some hard-fought point or points if they can come away from Bramall Lane with something.
Peck lays the ball back to his goalkeeper. Clearance. O'Hare able to pick it up. And then get a return ball from Harmer. Callum O'Hare, left-hand side of the penalty area. He's got a good run from Burrows outside him. Burrows will check down by the dead ball line. O'Hare making a run inside the penalty area. It's an awkward one to defend. Just about dealt with by Morris. He's coming outside the penalty area and just able to feed Ryan Giles. Get the ball out of harm's way. Giles with the ball down the line, just a little bit too far ahead of Bergzorg. And Ahmedhodzic is across the mop up before Giles brings Raksaki down. And Chris Wilder immediately is in the ear of the fourth official, Ben Toner, as is Alan Nill, his assistant manager, complaining that, again, there's a lack of consistency and that should have been a yellow card.
Yeah, it probably should have been. Ryan Giles has made the run down the left. He knows he's got to run back, so he just makes the challenge to stop the attack. It's a yellow card.
Raksaki for Vinny Sosa on the Sheffield United right. 1-1 the score, and we played an hour. Raksaki again trying to thread the ball through inside the box for Harmer. And it's cleared. Hackney can bring the ball forward. Now inside the centre circle. Chance for Middlesbrough to try and do something with it. Illing Jr. ran down a blind alley. And he's in a more central role now. Ball played out towards the right. Iheanacho. Illing Jr. making his way through the middle. And a shot is coming to a back garden near you anytime soon. From the corner of the box from Iheanacho. And his long wait for a league goal continues. 1-1, 61 on the clock. 3 minutes of normal time to go at Goodison Park. Everton 1, Liverpool 2. Liverpool on the verge of a 9-point lead at the top of the Premier League with victory in the last ever Merseyside derby at Goodison Park. That continues over on Talksport. This one, 1-1.
And Kelechi Iheanacho, I like him. A greedy forward. We don't see enough of them, to be honest. I mean, look, the shot was terrible, but he's only got eyes for the goal.
Vinny Sosa. A slightly more advanced role now in this second half. Little reverse ball in from him towards Raksaki, but he didn't take the care in playing the next touch towards Harmer. It was well won back by Burrows, but cleared immediately out towards Sam Illing Jr. over on the Middlesbrough right-hand side. He cuts inside. Feeding Dan Barlaser. Hackney will take over. Now Barlaser coming forward again towards the edge of the penalty area. Chance for Illing Jr. to run towards the byline and wrap his right foot around it, but got the angle wrong and he sent the cross closer to the Middlesbrough fans and the Sheffield United goal. It curved over the goal and straight back out. And a goal kick will be taken away to our left. What does Sheffield United need to do to change things? Luke Ayling's actually just gone down hurt for Middlesbrough over on the far touchline. What do Sheffield United need to do to be able to create more clear-cut goal-scoring opportunities?
Look, I think there's some lovely interplay. There's maybe one or two many flicks. They look great, but at times, you know, are they going to come off every time? They're not. You know, a little bit more certainty in the pass, in the final third, and urgency might just be enough, because at the moment it's great on the eye. There's the flicks, there's Harmer and O'Hare linking up and Raksaki, but they're yet to actually get the centre forward into the game, whether that was Cannon or Tyrese Campbell. You know, everything's happening in and around rather than can we eventually get that ball into our striker to have an opportunity.
Joe Bryan has scored what I'm sure will be a consolation for Millwall at Plymouth. He's netted at both ends in that game. Plymouth 4, Millwall 1, the latest score down in Devon. They're in the last 10 minutes of that one. Here we've played 20 minutes of the second half. 1-1 the score. Next to nothing between the two sides in terms of XG, but a big part of that is the penalty that Middlesbrough were awarded. Second goal for Blackburn at West Brom. West Brom 0, Blackburn 2 at the Hawthorns. It'll be a big result for Rovers after a tumultuous day with John Eustace on his way to Derby, David Lowe in temporary charge, and Blackburn 2 up at West Bromwich Albion. Confirm the score of that second goal for you in a moment. Magtagay got the first. Here's Vinny Sosa. Square to his right-hand side for Ahmedhodzic. The second half, Sheffield United's possession is up into the mid-60s. But they've only had 3 attempts for the lion's share of possession over 19 minutes since half-time. Harry Clark with a throw. Down the line for Raksaki. Raksaki controlling the ball. Back in field from him to Callum O'Hare. The two of them shoving each other out of the way. Then O'Hare got pushed by Hackney. And Hackney very quickly stuck his hands up to protest his innocence, like a 4-year-old had been caught raiding the sweet jar. Hands up, wasn't me. But a free kick has been given. It's 5 yards outside the box, led with the right-hand edge of the penalty area, and another chance for Harmer to try and get the delivery right.
It always means it is them. That's the problem. Such a giveaway. But again, good play from O'Hare. First of all, it was the flick round the corner to Raksaki, and then he just got his body position right to draw the foul. Can they make the most of one of these set plays, though?
Harmer to take it. It's a low one. Ahmedhodzic chasing it. Couldn't get the touch. It's half cleared. And then Harmer will stop a counter-attack. Well, the first phase of a counter-attack, because he got the ball away from Ayling Jr., but Ayling just passed it straight up the line into his path. And Luke Ayling bombs forward on the outside for him. Sheffield United did so well. They got the bodies back really quickly and regained their defensive shape in the blink of an eye. It was Mac Tagay that scored that second for Blackburn Rovers. He's got them both as they lead 2-0 at West Brom. It's Ryan Giles. A miscue from him as he tried to volley the ball inside the penalty area. And then it's met by another miscue, this one from Harrison Burrows, who puts it straight out of play for a throw. Another change. It's a Sheffield United change. And we're going to see Raksaki come off to be replaced by Ben Britton Diaz, who's rejoined the club on loan from Southampton. Scored the winner at Derby, his only goal in 17 games this season, and he will come on. He's predominantly been playing on the wing, and it looks as though he's going to reprise that role tonight on the right wing, just a straight swap in place of Raksaki midway through the second half.
Yeah, a player that they're hoping can rediscover that incredible championship form that he showed for Blackburn.
Opportunity from distance. Is a distance away by Luke Ayling.
Why do so many defenders get sucked in by the roar of shoot? And then that was all that Ayling had in his mind. It was a terrible effort, and I'm sorry, it's so frustrating for your team when you're trying to build an attack.
55 without a goal for Luke Ayling, whose last one came back in August 2023. Sheffield United bring it forward. Britton Diaz tried a little threaded ball down the channel for Callum O'Hare, who does eventually get it from Campbell. Campbell back in. Right-footed effort from Peck. And again, it hits the nearest defence by Lassa that time and bobbles to safety for Middlesbrough. But they're getting the bodies forward now in numbers around the edge of the penalty area.
Yeah, and when they move it quickly, I mean, it's hard to stop. It was excellent, wasn't it, from Edmondson and Morris and Barlasser, all to be in and around defending. They have defended well, actually, Middlesbrough, at times in this match.
Plymouth 5, Millwall 1. And Nikola Katic, who is the man of the match of the weekend, has scored that goal. It's his first for Argyle. They're 5-1 up. Callum O'Hare. Here's Britton Diaz. Scored 6 goals here on loan last season. Ball pinged in towards the edge of the 6-yard box by him, and Edmondson's headed it away. And now Iheanacho's going to be able to get to the loose ball over on the Middlesbrough right. Lays it back for Ayling. And Iheanacho will turn, and instead of knocking it square for Dan Barlasser, he's gone back for Luke Ayling instead. Ayling across the edge of his own penalty area for Edmondson. Into stoppage time. Deep in stoppage time at Goodison. It's still 2-1 Liverpool. Here's O'Hare. O'Hare. Little give and go inside the penalty. He's got it back. O'Hare! Good block. Now, Travers might have got there anyway, but Edmondson wasn't taking any chances in front of him, and he threw himself in. He was just able to flick it away with his left boot and divert it past the post for a corner.
Oh, what a lovely move, though. Clark really impressive stepping in. O'Hare then playing it into Clark, following his pass. Little ball through the legs of the defender to O'Hare, and Vandenberg, absolutely brilliant the way he comes across, because it looks like O'Hare's definitely going to score in that far corner if he doesn't just step and block the opportunity. Lovely play, though, from Sheffield United.
Gus Harmer taking the corner. And straight down the throat of the goalkeeper. He hung it up high, but Travers came out and caught it. Well, what a way to finish at Goodison Park. The last ever Merseyside derby there. And a 98th minute equaliser from James Tarkowski. 2-2. They were playing 5 minutes of stoppage time, and he scored in 90 plus 8. Tarkowski making it Everton 2, Liverpool 2. And all the reaction to that is over on Talksport right now.
Incredible. Incredible.
That it also means that if it ends that way, and there are only seconds left, that they will end with 41 league wins each at Goodison Park in Merseyside derby history. They are still playing. It's Everton 2, Liverpool 2. What a story. Here's Brayden Diaz, who was tackled by the invisible man, just fell over, but he had the presence of mind just to keep his feet and play the ball from the ground, flick it to his right-hand side, so possession wasn't lost. He's now coming forward and joining the attack. He's knocked it square for Peck to Vinny Sosa, out of the left-hand side of the penalty area where the cross is whacked straight at Ayling. Big appeals for handball, as you can hear. Peck turning on the edge of the penalty area, but his shot blocked by Barlasser. Hackney will try and get it away, and he diverts it out towards the Middlesbrough right, where Ayling Jr. is unceremoniously stopped in his path, and he goes out of play for a throw. And that's going to allow Middlesbrough the opportunity to make a double change. And we're going to see both Morgan Whittaker and Tommy Conway. You would imagine it'll be Ayling Jr. and Iheanacho who will be coming off. And Conway, the West Country-born Scotsman, just getting his final instructions. Has got a goal every 130 minutes in the Championship this season, which is a pretty tidy return and on a par with just about every other marksman in the division. And Morgan Whittaker's going to come on as well. The £8 million signing from Plymouth for just his second appearance for the club. He made his debut in that game against Sunderland 10 days ago. So it is Iheanacho and Ayling Jr. coming off, and Conway are coming on along with Whittaker.
Yeah, more minutes for Iheanacho. Lacking a little bit of sharpness, but still got that greedy edge to his play. Ayling Jr. not really been able to get into the game on that right-hand side, but nice couple of changes for Michael Carrick to be able to make, like you said. Good finisher Conway, and lots of promise. Whittaker will go over to the right-hand side.
That James Tarkowski goal is being looked at still by the VAR for an offside, which has been an inspection that's been going on for about 3 minutes now, which shows just how close it is. Is it going to stand? At the moment, it's 2-2 there. It could be 2-1 to Liverpool. The check is complete and the goal stands. 2-2 there. All square here. 17 minutes to go. Sheffield United 1, Middlesbrough 1, and 2-2 at Goodison Park. They're now in the 12th minute of stoppage time in that game. All the reaction to everything that's happened tonight. A thrilling Merseyside derby, controversial game here. Plymouth scoring 5. Blackburn Rovers 2 up at West Brom after the defection of John Eustace to Derby. That's all on the Sports Bar. 03717 223344 on Talk Sport. Free kick has been given here to Middlesbrough on the edge of their own penalty area, but right on the touchline. The ball was played forward. Clark jumped up for it because he thought it had gone out of play for a throw, and the referee said he caught it before it went out, and a free kick was given for handball. Middlesbrough work it upfield as a result of that. I think another borough change. Is another borough change imminent? Is it just that's just Iheanacho's made his way round and is just having a last swig of drink before he takes his place in the dugout. Middlesbrough on the front foot here. That's a teasing ball inside the penalty area from Giles. Beautiful shape on it. Nobody could get there to attack it. Borough win the seconds back with Hackney, played by him out towards the right-hand side for Morgan Whittaker. Whittaker doing well to keep his feet. Very neat and tidy. Goes back for Edmondson. Edmondson to Barlasser, whose shirt so dirty it looks as though he's been on for 10 days, not just come on as a second half sub. Peck working through the midfield. Oh, what a pass that is! Ben Brereton Diaz. It is a majestic goal. A calm, crisp finish, but it is all about the pass. It's one of the passes of the season from City Peck. He's picked it up in midfield, and he has lasered one between two Middlesbrough defenders. Running onto it, Ben Brereton Diaz. He's back at Bramall Lane and back amongst the goals, and Sheffield United are back ahead.
I mean, what a pass. First of all, the ball gets played into him. He just has a little look over his shoulder, Peck, and just lets the ball run across his body away from the midfielder. Then he gets his head up, and the weight of pass, the way it pierced through the Middlesbrough defence was absolutely perfect. It meant Brereton Diaz didn't have to check his stride, and then the finish. South American flair, the way he just flicked that up and over Travers 1v1. A stunning goal from Sheffield United and Brereton Diaz.
Sheffield United back ahead, 2-1 up. But the pass was just extraordinary. I looked down and saw a Sheffield United fan about 4 or 5 rows in front of us, and it was so easy to lip read. He just turned to his mate, and you could see him say, "What a pass!"
Yeah.
A night of controversy, a night of quality as well with that. Edmondson gets himself backed into a little cul-de-sac here, and then Peck has caught Giles. And it's going to be a free kick which will be taken by Borough inside their own half.
I mean, what a moment, considering it just felt as if it was sort of falling away from Sheffield United. It felt as if actually Middlesbrough were perhaps thinking, we've weathered all of this, maybe it's time to snatch it, and then you get that bit of quality from Peck and Brereton Diaz.
Sheffield United 2, Middlesbrough 1. Borough on the front foot looking for an immediate equaliser. Win a corner through Delano Bergsaw. The Merseyside derby's finished 2-2. That's not the end of the story. Decore sent off after the final whistle in that game, but it's finished 2-2. Tarkowski's 98th minute equaliser. Sheffield United 2, Middlesbrough 1 here with 13 minutes to go. A Middlesbrough corner is their first of the second half. Conway waits on the edge of the 6-yard box. Everyone else making runs from deeper. It's flicked inside the penalty area and smuggled just wide of the far post. Out of play for a goal kick.
I just didn't have the pace, did it? Vandenberg just trying to head that towards goal and just couldn't flick it goalwards. Plenty of holding, as you'd expect, in the penalty area. Amatodzic had his arm around Vandenberg's neck, but nothing given this time.
Well, you could argue that that's more of a penalty than the first one.
Probably. I mean, the fact that he's got his arm around his neck just says everything about the position that he was. It may be because actually Vandenberg wasn't going to get to the ball. He flicked a leg at it. He wasn't going to get to it, but still, it's a half chance.
So Decore was sent off in the aftermath of the Merseyside derby. So too Curtis Jones and Arne Slot.
So it's descended into absolute chaos by the sounds of it.
An extraordinary end. It was always going to be something like that, wasn't it? 98th minute equaliser and 3 sent off after that. 2-2, it's finished. And your reaction on the Sports Bar on 03717 2233 over on Talksport. Bristol City have beaten Stoke 2-0. Same story at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland have beaten Luton by 2-0. Celtic have won back. And do they in the Champions League? In their match against Bayern Munich, that's gone to a VAR check. A potential offside. So it might be 2-1 there, but Bayern leading with Elise and Kane as things stand at the moment. May have possibly got one back. Bergsaw making a run. He is offside. Flag is up. No VAR here. And the decision was immediate as Hackney tried to spin the ball into his path. Swansea 0, Sheffield Wednesday 1 is a result in South Wales. That goal from Dyson Maeda does stand. It's Celtic 1, Bayern Munich 2. So they've just thrown themselves a lifeline, but I feel they probably need an equalising goal to stand any chance already going into the second leg in Bavaria, which you'll hear live on Talksport next Tuesday night, the 18th of February. Sheffield United leading here 2-1. The ball is played forward towards Campbell. He and Edmondson have collided as the ball's gone past them. Campbell giving the free kick away, that the right decision. Morris chipping the ball from the edge of his own penalty area into space over on the Middlesbrough right-hand side for Luke Ayling. Ayling playing the ball up the line. Plymouth 5, Millwall 1's a result in the Championship as well. Here come Borough. Ayling getting it through. Big chance for Bergzorg. No flag. Bergzorg working the angle and he's put it over the bar. Turned inside onto his left foot. It didn't clear the bar by much. It's actually taken a nick on its way through. A corner has been given. Sheffield United would have been furious had that gone in because the offside trap spectacularly failed to execute correctly. And Bergzorg couldn't make them pay.
No, I just wonder whether there's a little flick over the bar from Cooper. I think it was probably going over anyway, but just the goalkeeper getting a touch. I thought Bergzorg should have hit that first time. As it got slipped down the right-hand side of the penalty area, I thought just hit that with your right foot across goal. He didn't. He checked back in and then was leaning back and up and over. It's just such a good opportunity where you need the composure. Striking towards goal, going over, but touched over then by Cooper as well.
Well, Gus Harmer's race is now run. It's the third or fourth time that he's been down receiving treatment, and he's made his way off the field. He's going to be replaced by Sam McCallum. McCallum, who signed from Norwich. Scored at Hull back in September. He hasn't seen as much first-team action as he would like, but he's making his way off now. So Harmer coming off and McCallum coming on to replace him. Now we'll get full-time details in a moment from elsewhere. First of all, though, this Middlesbrough corner as they look to get themselves back into the game. So McCallum coming on. No side likes to necessarily make a change in personnel when they're about to defend a corner. Is McCallum fully briefed with where he's got to go? He's keeping an eye on Conway. In comes the corner from the Middlesbrough right-hand side, swung towards the penalty spot. Headed away by Britt and Diaz. There was a collision at the far post off the ball. Hackney's got possession. Hackney chipping one up inside the penalty area. Conway back across the edge of the 6-yard box. First touch from a Sheffield United defender. Second from McCallum to clear. The counter-attack could be on, apart from the fact that Campbell stumbled. But O'Hare's won it back. Campbell, he's in. He can roll it square. He should have rolled it square for Britt and Diaz. He went for goal. Travers comes out, makes the save. It was 3 against 1. He should have been 3-1. It's still 2.
It's one of those, yes, you want to be selfish, yes, you want to score, but you have to make sure there. You just have to pass it across for Brereton Diaz to tap in. I'm sure that'll be told to him by no uncertain terms by the coaching staff, but Bergzorg's away down the left.
And shoots, and it's straight down the throat of Cooper, who can gather at the second attempt.
I mean, he has been the threat, hasn't he, Bergzorg? All game, his pace, his intelligent running. He's got good close control, just nipping inside from this left-hand side there, striking brilliantly, but straight at Cooper. With Tyrese Campbell, it took him so long to get it under control. By the time he did, his head was up and Travers was there, and really should have just been passing it to the side. Brereton Diaz getting the third.
Well, they've had their chances, but they do lead by 2-1. Giles on halfway. Playing it back for Edmondson. Edmondson to Vandenberg, who will come towards the edge of the centre circle and chip the ball down to Giles again, controlling it. Chris Wilder kicking every ball, and there's plenty of finger wagging going on. He's just trying to fine-tune a few things. I think he wants Campbell to be slightly further advanced in his starting position. Another free kick is given, this one for a foul on Morris. Now the Sheffield United fans didn't see it that way. Morris on halfway, back on his feet. Played in immediately. Squares it to his right-hand side. Now the ball worked all the way back for Vandenberg. Another chance for Edmondson to bring it forward. The Recent signing from Ipswich, finding Giles. Good ball in from Giles. It's a low flat one. Bergsorg will be able to pick it up. Vinny Sosa knocked it away from him. And then a lot of fury in the Sheffield United back line that the flag didn't come up. Ahmedhodzic was the man leading the complaints. And they felt as though it should have been a free kick. It's a Middlesbrough throw. They're trying to just turn the screw, put a bit of pressure on now. Get themselves back into this game with 5 minutes to go. Edmondson down the line for Giles. Left-footed ball in from Giles. Swept away by Ahmedhodzic. McCallum skips around Hackney's challenge. He will play it forward towards O'Hare. Be off to Burnley for full-time details in a moment. O'Hare winning a throw. In fact, let's go there now. Burnley beating Hull and another clean sheet. Here's Mickey Gray.
It's finished here. Burnley 2, Hull City 0. 2 goals in the first half. The first from Bashir Humphreys, right foot shot low into the bottom corner. Then the second from Zian Fleming from a header. Good cross from Anthony on the right-hand side. Burnley were always in control in this game. That's now 23 clean sheets. 10 in a row, 12 at home. Who's going to stop them? Burnley 2, Hull City 0.
That's 9 goals conceded in 32 league games. 910 minutes since they last conceded. Extraordinary statistics. Here's Peck towards the edge of the penalty area for Sheffield United. To Ben Breer and Diaz. That was the combination that brought the goal. Vinny Sosa plays the ball forward. A little nutmeg of Morris getting the ball through towards Peck. On the right-hand side, O'Hare gets it in. Goes out of play for a corner. Quick full-time details from Wearside. Graham Courtney.
Yeah, Sunderland 2, Luton 0. 13 on the clock. Enzo Lefebvre with the opening goal for Sunderland. That's his first for the club. 59 on the clock. 2-0. Scruffy clearance. Fell to Wilson. Isidore drilled it in. Sunderland stay fourth. Luton down the bottom. Overtaken by Plymouth. Sunderland 2, Luton 0.
Yep, Luton bottom of the lot on 27 points. Plymouth 28 after they win. Hull 29, Derby 29, having played an extra game. Sheffield United to take this corner on their right flank. They're in no hurry to take it. Dean keeping a close eye as the referee is on the pulling and shoving going on inside the box. It's in! Ahmedhodzic climbing the highest, I think, as the corner came in. And the Bosnian, leaning back, has headed past the stricken Travers. That'll be 3 points, a much-needed 3 points for Sheffield United to keep the pressure up on Leeds. 3-1 they lead in the final 5 minutes.
How is what I've got to ask. How on earth has Ahmedhodzic headed this in? He's not really got off the ground. He's just gone shoulder to shoulder with Travers. Travers should just deal with this, punch it away, shove him out of the way, catch it. He flaps at it. Ahmedhodzic just literally leans back and nods it into an empty net. Easiest goal he'll ever score. Doesn't have to do much, just gets up, nods it past the goalkeeper. Travers makes a right mess of dealing with that. Got to be stronger in those positions. So weak. Easy for Ahmedhodzic.
Well, it's 10 goals he's got for Sheffield United now, 9 of them here at Bramall Lane. And Mark Travers will be hugely disappointed that one got past him in the way that it did. We're going to see further changes. Hamza Chowdhury is going to come on for Sheffield United. Marcus Force will be introduced here for Middlesbrough. He's coming on first to replace Aidan Morris. And Chowdhury is going to be brought on. And we're also going to see Tom Davis come on as well. So double change for Sheffield United, but it'll be made in a moment. They've only got one juncture left, I think, to make a change, which is why they're just having to delay it so they can bring both players on. They lead 3-1. Here's the gallivanting Harry Clark down the Sheffield United right. And it's won back immediately, but Borough, they're beaten now. Hackney losing out. O'Hare getting it forward. Here's Britton Diaz playing it back edge of the penalty area. Campbell takes it away from the edge of the D. Trying to set up Burrows. Goes wide towards McCallum, who's just expected a little bit too much of the tiring left back there. Too much on the pass forward. It's rolled straight over the line and out of play for a goal kick. Well, it's 3-1, Dean. It could have been more emphatic than that when you consider the 3-on-1 that they missed. A good night's work for Sheffield United, but not a perfect night for them.
No, but a much improved performance, especially here at home where they've had some poor performances, yes, getting the results, but speaking to the supporters before the game, they got lucky with those results. Not tonight, fully deserved it. And a big round of applause for young Peck. What a moment. The defining moment, really, in the game was that pass.
And it's his name that is being chanted on the copper way to our right-hand side. He deserves the ovation. He really has been tremendous. So he comes off, and Burrows has come off as well. And we go into 5 minutes of added time. The change means that McCallum goes back to his favoured left-back position. And play restarts with a goal kick that Travers has put straight out of play for a throw that will be taken on the Sheffield United right. So this victory will keep them within 2 points of Leeds. 14 games to go. And the two sides meet here in a Yorkshire derby, a mouth-watering Yorkshire derby that will bring you live on Talksport 2 a week Monday, February the 24th, with an 8 o'clock kickoff. Some game there. At the moment, second against first. Hackney has fouled his man, Tom Davis, with 2 or 3 rolls. He's okay. He's going to get back to his feet. He's missed the last 4 games because of a leg injury. But just getting a few late minutes here. Sheffield United 3, Middlesbrough 1. And this will be a 6th win in 7 league games for Sheffield United. But as Dean Ashton was saying, more imperatively, really, the fact that it's been a better performance tonight. Another free kick given away. It's Force off the ball, just caught Ahmedhodzic on the top of the ankle there, I think. Well, it's going to be a Blades restart. Middlesbrough know they're beaten. This is a worrying run for them. 2 wins in 11, 3rd away defeat in a row, 50 defeat in 6 games in all competitions.
Yeah, it's not good. You've got to try and stem that and really bed those new players in quickly. They've not shown a lot tonight, they really haven't. Defensively, they've given it a good go. The 2 centre-backs have had their moments. Not been able to keep a lot of possession, and they've not been able to get the forward players into the game. But with new players, sometimes it's just going to take a few games. But with how tight it is in and around the rest of the league for those playoff places, you don't want to lose ground.
Yeah, they're still playing at the Hawthorns, where Blackburn are 2 up at West Brom, but Blackburn will have 48, they'll be in 5th. Borough with 44, moving down to 9th tonight after the wins for Bristol City and Sheffield Wednesday, who will both climb above them. Sheffield United getting a free kick down by the corner flag that they've taken short. A little flick on inside the penalty area by O'Hare. He was off balance and couldn't get the touch that he wanted. We're halfway through the 5 added minutes. Sheffield United leading Middlesbrough by 3 goals to 1. Raksaki, Britton Diaz and Ahmedhodzic after a controversial Delano Bergzorg penalty. Borough trying to bring the ball forward, and Ahmedhodzic looking for Rosed and probably finding it. Straight out of play for a throw. Just what was needed in the situation that he found himself in. Yeah, there will be concern for Michael Carrick. The centre-halves have played well, by and large, as Dean was saying. The fact that they didn't add another centre-half in the transfer window whilst they're bringing 6 bodies in, and they raised a few eyebrows amongst the Borough supporters. Here's Luke Ayling. Worked for by Ayling towards Whittaker, who's had few chances to shine since coming on. Another long diagonal out to the Middlesbrough left-hand side for Giles. It's cleared. And then played back to the goalkeeper, Cooper, who gets it forward. O'Hare has done well, particularly in this second half. Driving the ball forward there. Campbell. Davis making a run past him, but he's gone back to Chowdhury instead. Now down towards the right-hand side for Clark. Clark infield for Chowdhury again. And Chowdhury calming things down goes back to his goalkeeper, who will clear. We're in the final minute of the 5 added on. Tom Davis chasing after this, but cleared up the left-hand touchline. Knocked away by Sheffield United. Back for Davis to chase. Man with the straggly blonde hair, giving a good chase, but Giles just went shoulder to shoulder with him and won it back. Conway trying to turn it around the corner for Bergzorg, couldn't get the angle right on the pass. Britton Diaz, the scorer of the second tonight, ran full pelt back inside his own half for a moment, almost as if he had forgotten which way he was going, but then just diverted the ball back to his goalkeeper. Another long ball forward. Sheffield United just keeping it out of harm's way. The last knockings of the game. Chowdhury for Vinny Sosa. Played out towards Britton Diaz. Diaz taking it down towards the left-hand touchline, and that's the last touch of the night. It's a victory for Sheffield United that keeps the pressure up on Leeds. Midweek in which the top four have all won. There were moments where it looked as though it wasn't going to happen for the Blades tonight after the controversial penalty that got Middlesbrough back into the game. But the pass of the night from City Peck set up Ben Britton Diaz. Apanogic got an easy third, and Sheffield United have got the job done to stay 2 points behind Leeds.
A proper performance tonight from Sheffield United. Much more what the manager, I'm sure, will want to see, especially here at home, especially with that Leeds game coming up and how important that'll be to make sure with the other results tonight as well that they've got their job done. And I thought they showed a lot of industry, a hell of a lot of work rate, never really allowing Middlesbrough to have any momentum in the game. And it could have been more in the end from Sheffield United. Used the bench well with Britton Diaz coming on and Campbell at half-time. It's a real positive night, I think, for certainly these Sheffield United fans to see that type of performance that's been missing in recent weeks.
What areas of the Middlesbrough performance will most concern Michael Carrick?
I think the midfield area, actually. I know they're wonderfully gifted technically, but physically they really looked like they were missing that physical edge, and Sheffield United were just too strong, too powerful for them in that central area, and it's such an important area of the pitch. But it feels as if they need those players to bed in quickly, the new players.
Watford at home next for Middlesbrough. Then they've got away games at Bristol City and Stoke, and then Derby at home. So they've got 4 games coming up that they will look at and feel that they should probably be taking 7-9 points, something like that from. But they go into that run on the back of 5 defeats in 6. It is a winning cause for Sheffield United, but you can hear the reaction as the referee and the officials leave the field from the Sheffield United supporters, still incensed with the penalty that was given.